Are we back?
Yeah, and we're in
We're
in a new
somewhere
place,
else
yeah.
now.
Yeah, we're in the zoo now.
In the zoo or in the aquarium?
Hmm.
There's zoos with penguins.
Yeah, that's
There's
true. There are
aquariums
zoos
with penguins, but there are
yeah.
also a lot of aquariums without penguins because they are not technically
know what to
considered
do.
aquarium animals.
They're aquatic birds. So they are of the water.
They do have a sloth in the aquarium in Osaka,
Yeah.
and it's holding on to the one single like small stick that's coming out of the ground.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's coming out of the water. They just have one little branch, and that's
No,
what the sloth
it
has to
is
hang on to all day.
It's on dry land, but
Okay.
there's like this, let's say, 40 centimeter long. It's not even a tree; it's just a stick, and the sloth has just it found that one, and it's like, oh no, it's the only plant in the whole thing.
Poor sloth.
Yeah, I don't know why they put that in there. They also in the aquarium in Ikebukuro they have armadillos, and armadillos are disgusting.
Oh, you don't
The
like them?
underside is so gross.
Oh, I've never seen the underside of them.
Terrible. It's kind of like the disgustingness level is almost on a par as with naked mole rats.
Ooh, yeah, that's not good. I think
Also, armadillos all
carry plague.
Yes.
Yeah.
The,
So you don't want to get close to them.
They do have sexually transmissible SEDs.
Yeah.
Wait,
STDs.
STDs.
Yeah. Don't
Like
touch
you get
don't have sex with armadillos, people.
B and C and whatever. You get that from those.
Yeah.
Also,
They
you
look
get
shiny,
those
but
from.
they're gross.
You get. Do you know what you get from koalas?
No. What do you get from koalas?
You get almost all koalas are infected with gonorrhea.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't
I never
fuck
knew that.
them.
Yeah, I should hope not. Just not only for that reason, for other reasons as well.
Someone looked at him and was like, they're handy. You're coming with me.
No, Joker. Don't do it.
And that's how we got plagued with that thing.
With gonorrhea from koalas. Anyway, so this is the beginning of the Aquarium arc for Chainsaw Man. What is it? Chapter 112. And
school's gone. No more bullying.
No more school. No more bullying. School's out forever. Unfortunately, so is the super strong uniform sword. It is gone.
Very sad.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on a second. Asa has a new school uniform.
Yeah.
Does she have multiple?
Probably.
Is that normal? Do you have multiple school uniforms?
Yeah.
Then why was the one that how was she able to differentiate the one school uniform she got from her mom from the one she's wearing on all the other days?
I don't know. Well,
I didn't know you have multiple.
Yeah, I'm sure you have multiple, because otherwise, if you got it dirty one day, then you'd get in trouble the next day for not being in uniform.
Clearly, I'm not a school uniform wearer.
No.
Even though I wished for it.
You wanted the look where everyone has the uniform. You feel more solidarity with your classmates.
Yeah, it's superior.
Yeah.
Japan superior.
I do like a lot of aspects about Japanese school compared to other school systems, like how the kids take part in doing the cafeteria work and cleaning work. I like that. I feel like that must teach kids how to do stuff like that from a young age.
Also, that's my personal opinion, but the way I see it, club activities are there to prepare you for real life more than the school itself does, because you might end up going into a club that teaches you basically your first job skills.
Yeah,
You're
like
supposed to
devil hunting.
budget. Well, yeah, in this case, devil hunting is that's exactly the perfect example. But
Yeah.
there's sometimes in real life there's clubs that definitely train you to deal with the real world. Like
That
for
makes
instance,
sense. I agree.
you always have to deal with a budget.
Hmm.
You get money allocated to your club, and that's the first time you actually probably see Yukichis with that many zeros at the end.
Yeah. Were you in any club activities back in school?
We didn't have those.
You didn't have them at all? Wow.
No,
That's odd.
that's a system that's only existing in Japan.
In high school, I was in the art club, and it was
Only existing in Japan.
it was so pointless because we basically just because one thing that is different, I'm going mostly based on anime. Is it seems like in Japanese clubs, then
Anime is
the
real.
kids have more autonomy. Because I remember in the art club I was in, we would meet in the art class after school, but there would always be one of the art teachers there to make sure that we don't screw up the art room, because it's the same art room that gets used for regular
Right.
art classes during the
Makes
rest of the
sense.
day. Yeah, but in anime, it always looks like the clubs do have a teacher advisor, but it's not like they're there all the time when you're doing your club activities. They're more
Yeah.
autonomous. Yeah.
So like if they find out that you played basketball like one
Mhm.
time in high school, then they're going to like, oh, you've played basketball, right? You Takada sensei, you can be the basketball club's advisor. And you're like, oh shit, I just wanted to go home. Now I have to babysit these idiots for another 5 hours.
Yeah.
That's the image I'm getting from teachers. I suppose that's probably also. I have a feeling that's
Mhm.
a story that I've picked up from somebody who was actually
An advisor for
an
a school
ALT,
club.
assisted language teacher who
Okay.
I can't verify it right now, but the image I'm getting is that somebody came from America and they only made him the basketball team's supervisor because he's from America and basketball is in
Like
America,
you guys
right?
like basketball in America, right? You do it.
Or maybe it was even worse. Maybe it was
Uh-huh.
just because he was like 20 centimeters taller than all the other teachers. So they were
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, Dirk Nowitzki, get in.
It's funny. Yeah, but speaking of clubs, so it turns out that Asa asks Yoru like, "Oh, who is that girl? She said she's your sister," and she's like, "I don't know." Turns out she's
Just
in,
a Super Famicom.
Yeah. She's in the devil hunting club,
Ah, I forgot about this.
and
I completely didn't make a mental note of that.
really, you didn't notice her there. It even shows her like, "Look, there she is," and it shows Asa's reaction like, "Ah, I recognize you."
She recognizes her.
Yeah.
And then also the club captain reveals himself to be the real deal.
Yeah, he shows off that he has
A massive dong. Goal.
No, the Chainsaw Man chainsaw starter pull, which made me wonder, like, is it common knowledge that Chainsaw Man has that? Because I had thought that only the public safety people knew about that aspect for him.
I think Denji is fighting without a shirt often enough that people have picked up on that.
Okay. All right. In that case, like,
But you're right. They shouldn't know that about the significance of that.
Yeah, but somehow it seems to be public knowledge here.
By the way, something that from last time we talked about this ages ago.
Yeah.
Last episode. That normal people wouldn't be able to know the difference between if somebody is a devil or if they're a fiend, because devils often just look like normal people. Right? Makima is a devil. Angel Devil is a devil.
Yeah.
Violence Devil is also
a
looks
fiend.
like a normal person with a With a
No,
wait,
he's
is he a fiend?
Yeah, he's a fiend.
An angel devil is a devil, right?
Yeah.
Was Beam a devil or a
Beam
fiend?
is a fiend.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, some devils look like humans, and it's really hard
Yeah.
to tell if somebody is a fiend or a devil.
And
So
some look like weird birds.
So some people might actually think that Chainsaw Man isn't even human.
Well,
He's
yeah,
turning into a devil.
they state that. A lot of people are like, no, he is a scary devil that eats people and cats.
I see.
Yeah, just
So
looked it up.
I'm just thinking, why
it's
would
the
it
violence
really?
fiend, not violence devil.
Ah, damn it.
Yeah.
But would that even catch on with people that they're like, yeah, the Chainsaw Man, that's actually a fiend, so he must have a secret identity.
I don't know, because like, I guess you could even say like for Makima being a devil, then Makima is her secret identity, because she doesn't go around calling herself the control devil.
Right. That was a big secret reveal.
Yeah. Once again, with the devil rules, it's not entirely clear. He hasn't told us
I'll
anything.
continue to just read the manga.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once Asa sees that, I did notice that when they first meet, she's in
Doesn't
regular
have the
Asa mode.
scars.
Yeah. And it's Yoru takes over in order to ask all these questions because she's like, I want to find Chainsaw Man. And then she just walks off. And it's because she knows that she can't fight him at this point.
I'm weak now.
She's too weak, yeah. So she comes up with a plan and she's like, Asa, you need to get on it. Make me weapons. And she even suggests a cat. And Asa has her save the cat moment where she says, no, I would rather kill a human to make a weapon than a cat.
I know several people who would probably say that's perfectly fine, but I think that's pretty villainous. If you think that a cat is worth more than a human, like a random human, not just because...
But she's not saying a random human. She says, I'd rather kill a human than a cat. A criminal or something. Someone who deserves to die.
See...
So it means that she's saying here that the average cat is higher value than the low value human.
It also has to be somebody who is in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to own them.
I was also wondering about that, because it was stated before that she needs some sense of ownership, but it also says that to become a weapon, they become more powerful due to guilt about it. So, yeah, I'm not sure how exactly that works either, because that's why she was able to turn the teacher into a weapon, because she felt a vague sense of ownership because
the teacher loved Asa,
her.
And he actually loved her.
Yeah.
He wanted to bang her the most. He settled for the other girl.
Yeah. So
might as well.
Which makes me wonder, like, if the class president from that first chapter hadn't told her that the teacher is really in love with Asa, would she have been able to turn him into a weapon? Maybe not, unless she's like,
maybe not.
Or would it even be something as simple as he is my teacher?
No.
That couldn't be it, right?
I'm gonna say
That's
the War Devil was watching.
Mm-hmm.
The War Devil was watching and was like, oh, okay, so he loves her. That means I can turn him into a sword.
All right, we'll put a pin into that for later. So they have this whole discussion of like who to turn into a weapon. Yoru says, pick someone between cat and criminal. And what kind of person is in between a cat and a criminal?
Someone who's kind of a piece of shit. Someone who could star in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Someone who is even named after a character in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
He follows the Denji system.
Dennis?
It never worked for him. Don't do the Denji system, guys out there looking for a date. It won't work. You'll just find girls who want to kill you. Yeah, so
I mean, the reverse works, right? If you
Uh-huh.
want a piece of the Denji, he is going to say yes.
yes. Yeah, he's an easy date.
He doesn't like
easy
her, but he...
easy to get on a date. Yeah. Cuz all he knows about her so far is that she really looked down on him when he said I'm Chainsaw Man.
And that she doesn't like Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. And it made me wonder again, like, does he even remember seeing her without clothes on? Because he doesn't react about it.
I'm gonna say he didn't even see her. And if he did,
He
then it was
definitely saw
retconned
her.
by Fujimoto.
He
It's
saw
one of
her.
those moments like when Araki forgot that in the Notorious B.I.G. chapters. You remember that? When Giorno is on the plane and he sees in his own handwriting
Yeah.
warnings, and
was
he's like,
completely
what's
forgotten.
that about? Like, he completely forgot
I don't
about
know.
that.
I don't know, because it is
That was just a weird thing that happened, and then it
Yeah.
didn't have any relevance to the rest of the
It really
fight.
looked to me like Denji looked straight at her when
I'm
she
gonna
was
say he didn't see her.
during the Yuko fight.
We'll see in the anime how it's going to
We'll
play
see.
out.
We have to wait so long to 2028.
Yeah, 5
Yeah.
more years. Look forward
Exactly
to
5
it.
years.
What happens next in the next chapter?
Chapter 113. I want to see penguins. After Denji, of course, said yes to Asa asking him out on a date, then they go to the aquarium for the date. I really like the way that Asa is shown in all of this. Like she's so confident about herself here for no reason.
Somehow she thought she was cute, which is true.
Yeah.
Then when you
thought it would
see
be
her
easy.
personality,
She was like, it's gonna be so easy to get Denji to fall in love with me because I'm cute. And
she tried
then,
too hard.
Yeah. Then they go and she tries too hard because this is their date. She went to the library and memorized a bunch of facts about sea
I've
creatures.
seen this in a meme.
Yeah.
I remember this from Twitter.
Yeah, so Denji is like not into it at all. Because
He hates it.
he wants to see penguins.
He's
And
never
Asa's
seen
like,
one,
no,
and
you can't go to see penguins yet. We have to stick to my
ideally
plan.
he wants to touch one.
Yes. Have you ever touched a penguin?
No.
No, me neither. They're always behind glass.
Really?
Yeah, when
Aren't
I
they?
see them.
Don't you
in the
have one of
aquarium.
those, like the thing that we're in front of right now?
Mhm.
That's in a zoo where you can look at them without glass.
I guess in that case, they're either between or beyond glass or beyond a moat that you can't go through.
I think the one where I live,
Mhm.
you could, like, if you reached far enough, you could reach into the water and grab one.
Really? Wow.
I think so.
Are penguins free where you live? You can just take
Let me
them
check.
home?
No, let me check.
Okay. I saw a picture the other day of somebody like beyond the fence at a lion enclosure at a zoo, and everyone's like, "Oh, she's gonna get eaten." But I was looking at it
I've
like,
seen that.
yeah, I looked at it. I was like, no, it looks like the lion is so far away. There must be a moat between them that's just not visible in the video. Because I've seen a lot of zoo designs that have moats so that you can't reach the animals can't reach you. But then there's no bars. It's a way to make a natural barrier until they get really good at jumping.
It's a big rock that's making you not being able to touch the penguins. But when I
Penguin
googled
rock.
it, the top result was penguin escaped from enclosure, and it's a bunch of people taking photos with him,
Oh,
like directly next to him.
that's cute. I've seen some videos of when some aquariums were closed for COVID. They took the penguins out and let them tour around. They just walked around. I'm like, you know, maybe if they're so good at just walking around, they should have regular penguin parades and have a spot where you can pet them if you want.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Put us in charge of the zoos too. While we're getting in charge of Disney and Shonen Jump.
Ah, that's a good idea. We're going to wow Disney by telling them how well we've managed the zoos.
That's right. That's the first step. We'll have to get in charge of a zoo. Oh yeah, also, the fact that Denji really wanted to see penguins did remind me of the Spy X Family episode where they go to the aquarium. And...
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen it? Oh, okay.
I've seen the memes that you've posted.
Yeah. Anya also really wanted to see the penguins. And then...
You shopped Denji and Asa into the anime screenshot, didn't you?
Yeah.
Because it looks so real. It looks almost as
exactly
if it's
like
like...
they were there. They were there. They were in it. Because I think the author of Spy X Family used to be Fujimoto's assistant.
Are you sure?
I don't know if it was exactly that relationship, but I'm pretty sure they worked together on something before.
I don't know.
They're putting in similar things, yeah. Because I think that episode was Twilight has to get a secret document that was hidden in like a penguin enclosure. And then Anya just wants to see penguins. And in this one, that's the dad's code name.
What?
I forget how you say it in Japanese.
Twilight Sparkle.
No, not Twilight Sparkle.
Twilight New Moon.
But that's probably why the wife is named Yoru.
Twilight Princess.
Since you said that Yoru means night, right?
Oh.
If you have twilight and night.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I accept it.
Anyway.
What happens in Chainsaw Man?
So Denji just
Show
leaves.
me.
He's like, I'm gonna go look for penguins. See you later. And
then Yoru
I like that part
calls
because
Asa.
he has a little aside where where Asa had said, you don't need to think about anything because I've planned out the perfect date. And Denji's like, I've decided to think about stuff in my own way. Because in part 1, he was always just being led around by Makima. And at the end of that, he's like,
nerve.
Yeah, he's like, I am not just gonna be this girl's dog, so I'm gonna get my own ideas. So he goes off to see penguins. And Asa gets
Yoru
mad.
calls Asa an incel.
Yeah, basic femcell. She says, you are not escaping these femcell allegations. And Asa does the reaction face of Speedwagon being asked how many breads he's eaten.
No, that's
Oh no, it's Zeppeli. You're right.
Zeppeli.
Yeah, it's not Speedwagon. Yeah, so basically Yoru is like, how many starfish have you eaten? And Asa's like,
0. She's really angry that she hasn't eaten any yet. That's right.
And while
Denji comes back.
No, before that, someone else comes back.
Oh,
Fami comes back.
Super Famicom comes back.
Yeah, she appears
And calls-
out of nowhere.
This is where she gives her own name, right? And people got mad about this. Where she's
Yeah, 'cause
I'm
it's
the
different in Japanese and
Kiga
English.
demon, call me Kiga-chan. And then she's Kiga.
Yeah.
And why would you be mad at that? Why? Do you understand this?
It's because people love translator notes, and they want to see the little translator note saying Kiga means famine.
The thing is, since she's saying the same word multiple times, right? Since the same word is repeated 3 times, she's like Kiga devil, Kiga-chan, and then Kiga, right? It's just the only difference was that when she says the famine devil, she writes it in kanji. And when she's like, you can call me this, then she writes it in katakana. And Asa then repeats that word, like Kiga.
Yeah, like snake word.
And yes, just like snake. And apparently people want Kiga to be a family name or something.
That's a weird reason to dislike it, because I can understand just the whole thing
they pretend that when she says I'm the famine devil, you can call me different name, and they want to respect that it's a name, but it's not a name. It's just like use Chan at the end of my name.
Yeah,
that's the whole. That's
the cutesy form.
Yes, and since a lot of mangas have the directive to not use honorifics.
Yeah.
They can't say famine-chan, for instance. So that's why they have to cutesify the name.
I see. I feel like
that's why Fami is the best version of that.
It is. Because I do understand fans who dislike when translations change the names, because then it gives you it splits up the fandoms. If you see content from, the people who read it in Japanese, then they'll be writing different names. Even if you type in you put it into Google Translate, then you might not understand what's going on.
That's right. They should have, when they revealed what kind of powers Eren has in Attack on Titan, they should have said he has the Shingeki no Kyojin.
Yeah. Well, I think it's when it's a personal name, I can understand people not liking it, but also like this, for reading it in English, this flows so much better than if you had to have a translator's note for the name right there.
And that's the ideal.
Yeah.
I mean, so I do appreciate some translator's notes. And Jump Plus.
Wait, what's... Oh, I was trying to think of a translator's note. I was thinking of when people...
Keikaku means plan.
Yeah. Yes, that's a good one. That's a classic.
I would say Jump Plus is doing it sometimes in a really stupid way, because they look at the background and then translate some kind of signboard on a building that has no bearing on the plot. For instance, if there is a dentist around the corner, and it's just for it, they just write dentist something name, and it doesn't, like, if you do that, it gives people it misleads people into thinking, oh, this might become relevant, because otherwise they wouldn't translate something that's just a background detail.
It becomes a red herring only to people reading the translations.
And they do that on Jump Plus.
That would be the reverse of all of the messages in Elden Ring saying Fort Night, and the Japanese players are like, what does this mean? Which fort do I have to go to at night?
That was a good, funny anecdote.
But I do like the little conversation they have here between Famine and Asa, when she tells her that she wants her to turn Denji into a weapon.
Yeah.
And Yora is like, don't trust her. But then Famine says, any human should be able to abandon their morality when starving. I'm like, that's a good line for the Phantom and Devil.
Yeah. Also, it makes sense that she's the older sister.
Yeah, well, it's just like we talked about before with which of the horsemen devils would come first in terms of how people would fear them. And I said, well, the first thing that any living creature is afraid of
is death,
hunger. Because even when you're a little baby and you don't know anything about, you don't know the existence of death, you know the existence of hunger because you feel it yourself.
But things that haven't experienced hunger can already die.
Yeah, but are they afraid of it?
Hmm.
They don't know it. They don't know about it.
Maybe.
I'm gonna say hunger comes first.
Is death second?
Yeah, probably. I'd say hunger is first, and then death, and then would be
Plague.
pestilence, then war. Yeah.
Plague.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, the final page of this chapter was Denji comes back, and he's like, "Hey, this aquarium is like way too long.
Don't have any penguins."
Yeah, I can't find any penguins. It's repeating. Like, the Eternity Devil is back. He even says the pain in the butt is back from hell.
This came exactly when the Eternity Devil was on TV.
I know. I was like, this is like poetry. It runs. Because I feel like the Return of the Bat Devil in the manga was a bit before the episode.
A little bit.
Where the Bat Devil fought Denji after kidnapping Power and Meowie. But this came basically at the the same week that they were fighting the Eternity Devil on TV.
It was perfect.
Yeah, what a coincidence. Do you think Famine knows about Denji's identity or not? Because she says she's specifically going for Denji. She's like, turn him into a weapon. Go on, do it.
Probably not. If she knew, she would tell. She would probably tell Yoru because she cares about her sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why she's doing it. And Yoru has 2 goals.
Yeah.
Right? And one is the first step to the next one. First, she needs a good weapon, and then she has to attack the Chainsaw Devil.
Yeah, make him barf up all the stuff she wants.
But it doesn't make sense for her to turn the Chainsaw Devil into a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would probably not work on him.
Yeah, because we've seen before with Devil's powers that can transform people, like the puppet power from Santa Claus. I don't think it did anything to Denji or
possibly
to fiends either. I think it didn't work on them at all.
On the other hand, the Control Devil can use her control on fiends and devils.
Yeah. Once again, it's a bit inconsistent what works where. Every power is slightly different, even if they're all devil powers.
I would say you can turn a living devil or fiend into a weapon.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Possibly.
Yeah. So the next chapter was chapter 114. Endless Aquarium. And it's... What a coincidence. Double coincidence. They run into the rest of the Devil Hunter Club. They've all still got their hats on, unlike Famine. Surprisingly, none of them are like, hey, have you seen this other girl we're with? We can't find her. They just ignore her, that they don't mention her at all. Also, Yoshida is here for some reason.
At first I thought he was one of the guys who was with them.
Yeah, but he's not.
Like he just takes off his
showed
hat
up
and was like, "Ta-da! I'm also here." He just shows up independently.
Yeah. And they use this appearance of him for a gag where the club president keeps trying to introduce himself to Denji, and he keeps getting interrupted. So he takes several pages before he can get his name out.
Yeah, that was
because Yoshida interrupts him, and then also another character gets revealed who is for sure Kobeni's younger brother.
Is that the brother who she needs to earn money for?
I don't know. We haven't seen whether this guy is smart or not. He's in the Devil Hunter Club. And he says, my mom made me because she said it would get me scholarships. So maybe he is the one who Kobeni is trying to save up money for college for.
Because I forgot if she had to earn money for her older brother or her younger brother.
Younger brother.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because she's already 20 in part 1. So I think if she had an older brother, she wouldn't be trying to help him save up for college. He would have been able to work on his own.
So he's the beneficiary of
Yeah,
her
that's my assumption.
of her OnlyFans account.
No, she's not doing that. She's too afraid of doing that. That's why she went into devil hunting and then burger selling instead.
Someone should have told her how much money you can make just by streaming as a girl.
I think streaming wasn't as much of a thing back then.
Shit,
1990s.
right. Yeah, she's fucked then.
Yeah. That's why she had to be a devil hunter. See? That's why Fujimoto, in his genius, set this in the 90s instead of in the modern day. If it was in the modern day, then everyone would have been like, oh, why doesn't Kobeni just go on Twitch and do hot tub streams and make money that way?
Imagine. What happens next?
So they're in there and they're trapped and they're trying to discuss like not just how to get out, but also how to survive while they're in there. And they figure that it'll be fine because there's lots of fish. They can just get the fish and eat them. But Asa reveals that she doesn't want to eat it
when it looks like a dead animal.
Yeah, it grosses her out.
The implication is that if you made minced meat out of she could eat a fillet of fish.
Yeah, just chop it up, fry it, be fine.
But if it looks like a fish, can't eat it.
Then she can't do it.
I wonder if she would eat sushi.
I don't know, because it doesn't look like an animal when it's become sushi.
Looks like a snack.
Yeah.
Looks like a tasty praline.
Yeah, you should ask her. But she goes out of the room and ends up meeting up with Denji, who is just stealing money out of a bag that was left behind.
I mean, at this point, if you think that you're going to be trapped in there forever, might as well take control of everything that's available.
She sees that Denji is taking money and she just purely gets mad at him and goes back to thinking that he's garbage like before.
True femso.
Yeah. She goes back into the room with everyone else and realizes like, oh, I have a cell phone. So why don't I try calling? But unfortunately, just like with Bucky, she trips and it breaks. And
I thought that she was going to turn the cell phone into a weapon.
I know. It's even just like her uniform. It's a keepsake from her mom.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even consider it.
And it's really expensive in 1996.
That's right. Yeah, she must have felt so much guilt for breaking this thing and so much ownership because it was given to her by her mom. And yet she doesn't think to do it. That's the problem of Asa without Yoru. She doesn't think about those things as much.
Everybody gets mad at her.
I know.
Like, nice going, Asa. You idiot.
Sadly.
Then everybody goes crazy because they're trapped in the aquarium for several years.
Yeah, we get shown at the beginning of the next chapter after a brief time skip of 3 days, which by the way is also the same amount of time they were trapped in part 1. Because it gets stated that like at the end of that arc, Aki says Denji has been fighting the Eternity Devil for 3 whole days and he's still going. And everyone else is like completely tired out and
but when he starts fighting the Eternity Devil, they have already spent a lot of time in there.
Oh, I don't know if... Yeah, but I don't think at the beginning of that it had been days. It had been long enough for them to explore around and to lose all of their snacks to power.
At least one
And then there were 3 days of Denji fighting it. And in this...
Because Kobeni tried to drink toilet water.
Yeah. And in this, her brother just licks the glass. I guess he didn't try the toilet water.
He's just going crazy, just like Kobeni.
Yeah. And also the president gets asked by Asa, like, oh, if you're Chainsaw Man, why don't you just transform and try to get us out of here? And he's like, I'm not Chainsaw Man. That's a fake starter on my chest.
Had it implanted.
I know,
What a loser.
He is exactly what Asa thought Denji was earlier.
Yeah.
Because Asa's like, oh, Denji is just this lame Chainsaw Man fan who wants to say
What a
he's Chainsaw
twist.
Man. Actually, that's what this guy is. Because I also remember at the end of the Yuko arc when we were wondering about the mysterious Chainsaw Man shadow that's probably not Denji cutting up Yuko. I saw some people online speculating that maybe it's this guy and he got chainsaw powers some other way, but it doesn't seem like that.
Yeah.
That is still a mystery. We will find out someday.
Some people said that might not be the Chainsaw Man.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's the hedge trimming man.
Other
very
devices
similar,
that are similar to
tool.
chainsaws, but not exactly.
Not exactly, but
Not
the silhouette matches, so that's why.
It does. Yeah. And it turns out Yoshida also has a cell phone.
But it doesn't work.
But it didn't work. So everyone got mad at Asa for nothing.
Yeah.
And Yoshida didn't help her at all. He could have been like,
he
could have stepped up and been like, oh yeah, it doesn't work. Instead, he just let them be mad at her. What a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the form of everyone's madness, the big guy who has an eye patch, Seigi, he's just punching in the air.
Well, I mean, if you have that much time, you might as well use it for a few more reps.
And Yoshida says something interesting. He asks Denji, do you think Chainsaw Man could eat the Death Devil? Which...
He's already eaten several outcome devils that aren't death.
Yeah. But
that's something that I forgot and felt very like about when I was reminded about it.
Because this is something that I think Makima said to Kishibe in part 1.
Yeah.
She was like, wouldn't it be nice if we could have Chainsaw Man eat the Death Devil, then no one would have to die?
Yeah.
Yoshida came up with the same idea.
I'm more intrigued what the other outcomes other than death at the end of somebody's life would have been.
It's so mysterious. We're never going to find out.
Fujimoto is just throwing that in as if that wasn't already.
It was so casual. Such a
material
casual
for one entire manga just about that.
I know, and we'll never know unless some other creator takes up that sword. Yeah. But meanwhile, after 3 days, Asa is not doing so well. She's not licking the windows, but she's just kind of crouched inside this broken tank. Just looking sad. And it's like, is she also starving? Because she said she can't eat fish. So she's just not been eating anything for 3 days.
For 3 days.
It sucks. And she apologizes to Denji for taking him to the endless aquarium on a date.
And then suddenly Denji is showing off all of his good sides. Suddenly, Denji is like a total nice guy.
Yeah. Character development. He's learned how to try to help out other people. He sits down next to her and is like, hey, well, you can eat starfish, right?
And then he shows off.
This was very heartwarming because it's like, oh, he actually did remember what she was saying.
Listen. Yeah. He remembers. He helps her. The starfish. He shows her that he prepared different fish for consumption. Then he reveals the money that she accused him of stealing was for a good cause.
Yeah, this is in the next chapter, chapter 116, The Taste of Starfish. They sit down and actually have like a little dinner date to eat starfish. And yeah, I like the little explanation. When she asks like, why have you collected all this stuff? He says that he's raising money for a sort of little sister he's living with. To save up for her to go to college. Yeah.
He wants her to lead a better life than he ever did.
Yes. And that's why
And
he's
that's
getting all the money.
foreshadowing. Foreshadowing to what to expect from the next chapter that's about to come out.
Yeah, in 2 weeks from now. And then, so Asa finally tries some of the fish that Denji dried.
Hates it.
She hates it. She's making these grossed out faces while she eats it. And
He's
Denji
loving
loves it.
He's loving it.
He loves it so much. It almost feels like hazing because the last time, no, not the last time. One of the first times he had a date-like experience was getting kissed by a girl who is barfing.
Yeah.
So now he's on a date, watching a girl retching while she eats food that she doesn't like. And he's like, "Oh, you're interesting to watch," which this is really charming.
Me.
Yeah, when Asa like gets all full of herself.
Yeah, suddenly
she's like, "You're right. I am fun and charming. You have a good eye."
Reminds him of somebody.
Yeah, which makes
who's talking like that.
Denji is like, you remind me of someone I used to know, which is, I miss power too, Denji.
Sad.
Even though in one way, Asa is the opposite of Power because she didn't eat any of the food, unlike Power eating all the food.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing I noticed with this arc being rhyming with the Eternity Devil arc from part 1 is they have the same number of people trapped in the Eternity Devil. Because in part 1, they had... Who did they have? They had Denji and Power and Aki and Himeno and Kobeni and Arai. And then in part 2, so that's what, 6? Yeah, 6 people. Then part 2 you have Asa and Denji again. And then the 3 Devil Hunter guys. Yeah, 3 Stooges. And Yoshida.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's very, very poetic.
It's very similar.
Very similar. Yeah, so...
Purely coincidentally, though.
Yeah.
Not planned at all.
Right, because in part 1 they were going there on purpose. In part 2 they're just... What a coincidence. So Asa reveals her super smart plan. Even though she doesn't put on the smart glasses. She did go super smart. And she's like, Denji, give me all your money. Let's go collect
such an absurd plan.
Even more money. Yeah, so they run around.
Can't believe it worked out.
They actually have fun collecting money. And Asa
how much money could there possibly lie around?
1 million yen. Well, I think they said that Denji had found a wallet with 10,000 in it.
It's not.
And then
much.
Asa found a bag with
little.
14,000 in it.
It's still very little.
Yes, they must have had to run around a lot to get a lot of repeats.
But the items don't respawn once you go over the threshold.
It seems like this time they do.
No, why would they?
I don't know why it's different, but they obviously do, because otherwise Denji wouldn't have so many hats. Because those are all the repeats of Femin's hat. So they are able to run around and collect repeats of the money.
Yeah. I thought, because when she says I'm buying the aquarium for 1 million yen,
yeah,
I thought that it doesn't even matter how much money she has.
It probably doesn't.
As long as she thinks it's a lot, then she can use it.
Right.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, because it's a lot, but not enough to buy an aquarium.
Imagine if they had collected more money. Like, not just the 1 million, just do it one more time and keep the 1 million. The second million.
Well, then that brings the question, once you escape from the Eternity Devil, then do all the things that were created that repeat, do they just go back into being one thing?
It is worth a try.
I think they probably just would be too tired doing that.
Still worth a try. 1 million yen.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
10,000 euros or dollar if you want.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
So Asa is going to, instead of turning Denji into a weapon, she's going to turn the aquarium into a weapon.
I can't believe it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It solves the problem. I don't know. Did they even, like, does she even know that the aquarium repeats because of the Infinity Devil? Denji knows it.
Yeah,
Did
Denji
he
knows.
explain?
I don't know. He did not
that
explain it to Asa other than saying that, oh, I've seen this before. And then she doesn't question it. There's a lot in this where one of them says something that kind of gives away their secret, and then the other doesn't really question
realize it.
Yeah.
Also, when the aquarium vanishes and the Infinity Devil is exposed, he doesn't look the same way as he used to.
No,
he has a completely different design now.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool design.
Yeah, this looks really cool.
He's still disgusting, and
of course he's very
kind of writhing mass of repeating body parts.
Yeah, very gross.
This is also really cool.
I know.
This is better than the previous one.
Yeah, it's a cool enemy design that gets instantly defeated once he's revealed. Because it turns out that the aquarium spirit is very strong, or at least Yoru is very strong because she is able to beat it.
It seems to have an AoE. When you get hit with it.
Oh yeah, the fish fly out. Yeah, the fish effect. That was fun.
It looks like all of the fish are just doing more damage and then vanish.
Yeah.
It seems like they're just an effect and not physical. Physical fish. I think that's just like one of those. You know, do you remember King of Fighters with the girls?
Yeah.
But they made the version that's supposed to be like where all of the characters are just the girls, and you can dress them up in cute outfits, and they even gender bend Terry Bogard and the other guy with
are they gender bent? I thought they were just cross-dressing.
No, they're gender bent. And in that game, all of the damage is stuff that girls would like.
Okay.
Like food and sushi and
girls love sushi.
cute animals and stuff. And I think this is the same. Like all of the fish that
it's a particle effect from her attack.
Yeah, it's a particle effect.
It's not a real item. Could be.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. So, yeah, the chapter is titled Penguin and Weapon, and it's because Asa made a weapon, and once they get out, Denji finds a penguin. And it's when it all happens while he's covering his ears, like Asa told him to, and he kind of has a bit of a breakdown because he's like, I thought I told myself I wouldn't just be obedient, but then he's like, but I want to be able to have her grant any request. And that happens while Asa is fighting.
Eventually, he gets to speak his request.
Yeah, and it's actually
very wholesome.
Yeah, surprisingly wholesome.
You'd think he'd go for another round of let me touch some boobies.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't.
But it's not. He doesn't. He just wants another date. He didn't get to keep the penguin.
Yoru looks very pleased with herself with all of her fish particle effects.
Everybody's able to see what she just did. Everybody's like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
How did you do that? She just did.
Except for Denji. Everyone's reacting except for him. He's just like, I love this penguin. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew is like Asa, what'd you do?
Even he should question where the Infinity Devil went, right?
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't think he mentions it after they get out. He's he's never like, what did you do that got rid of the Eternity Devil while I was playing with a penguin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be plausible if Yoshida went to him afterwards and was like, but yeah, I did that. Just go home. Just go home.
Yeah.
Denji, go home.
Never know.
Yoshida
And
must know that
it does
something's up
seem
with
like there's
Asa.
like a trait of noticing between Yoshida and Famine. It's like, they seem to recognize
Notice
each
each
other
other.
there. Yeah. Or notice that each
How,
other are up to something.
Would Yoshida know what the Famine Devil looks like?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Because if she pretends to be a schoolgirl in the same school,
Yeah.
just like Yoshida does, they would be able to run into each other, and he might even challenge her.
Yeah. I think
He's that
here
much of a badass.
it could be that he knows, but it could be that it's just that there's some girl standing on top of the railing of the building, and that's weird. But yeah, it does seem like he's noticing her. He knows something is up.
Imagine if he doesn't. He does. Imagine if somebody else is looking there and is like, "Oh no, she's going to jump."
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, what a coincidence! We were just in this extremely unusual situation. The first thing we see is somebody trying to commit suicide.
Sad.
That would be really weird.
It would be. Then we get to see what Denji's request is, and as
Yeah,
you
he
said,
cashes it in.
surprisingly wholesome. He just asks for another date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who'd have
He's like,
thought?
I've got more dating experience. I'll teach you how to have the best dates. Which is a funny line, because you remember how his previous dating experience went, don't you?
He knows how bad they can get,
Yeah.
and that's why he feels confident in
He
his
got barfed
skill.
in, he got his tongue bit off, and he was almost killed.
Several times.
He had to watch Morbius with Makima, even though it was 20 years before it came out. That's quite a
bad
preview.
movie
isn't it?
devil summoned
Yeah.
Morbius into 1996 just so Denji could experience it.
Yeah. How harsh. So at the ending of that chapter, towards the ending, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is now just a wholesome rom-com.
I'm fine with that.
And then Asa looks down and then comes back up with the scars and says
Oh,
this.
yeah. Denji's spinal cord sword.
Yeah. I remember when this happened, I was like, is it gonna work? Because
It was a really good cliffhanger.
Yeah, I feel like there's been several chapters in this arc where I was just on the edge of my seat for weeks at the cliffhanger endings of it.
And
like
this
when,
is one of them.
Yeah, like this one, and previously when Asa was going to turn the aquarium into a weapon.
It's such a good rhythm of this chapter, starting with the conclusion of the aquarium arc.
Yeah.
And you're going like, things are going to turn normal now.
Yes.
And
things are not normal
I'm so
for very
relieved.
long.
I'm so relieved that they're going on another date and that they kind of romance is blossoming. And then suddenly Yoru comes out with basically the reveal that she's the villain. She's going to kill Denji in one move. In that it's such a coincidence that if this worked, she would kill him. She would reach her goal. Yeah. And then like the whole series would be over. So this is extra shocking that she just goes for it.
Yeah. And I was thinking like there's that promo art from before part 2 started showing Asa holding a chainsaw. So I was like, is that gonna come true? She's really gonna turn Denji into a weapon? Denji is demoted from main character to weapon? But no, it doesn't work. Next chapter, it turns out that as with the puppet ability of Santa Claus, the weapon ability of Yoru does not work on Denji. And
I don't know what she's saying in Japanese, but in Japanese there's so many words that don't sound specifically like spinal cord sword.
Oh, really?
Like spinal cord is so specific, but spinal cord in Japanese is let me check before I say something wrong. It's sekitsui. But like sekitsui is that.
Is there nothing else that could sound like?
Maybe tsuikan? It's I would say it's complicated enough that it could be something else.
So you think this might be a pun?
No, I mean the possibility is that just Denji not realizing that she was saying the name of a weapon. Because there's so many words that if you line them up, just like spinal cord sword, then it won't sound exactly like a weapon name. And that's why he could be like, oh, I guess this is just nonsense.
It's just a fun way to say goodbye. I like that Yoru had tried multiple times and it didn't work. Then when Denji turns it around on her, she has this very shocked look on her face.
Imagine if she had turned into a spinal cord sword.
He had completely countered it. That would be a twist.
Reversed it. One weird trick. War devils hate it.
War hates it. Yeah, so after that, then we get some scenes of Asa at home. After Yoru goes to sleep, is she tired? And Asa has some time alone. Dude. She's got alone time to fantasize about Denji.
The dude and she hates so much.
Yeah, she hated him, and now she's like can't get him out of her head. It's like a classic rom-com sort of relationship development.
No, it just means that she really hates him. She doesn't like him at all. That's what it means.
No, this is enemies to lovers. This is like Pride and Prejudice, but with devils.
I'm calling AO3 to just like let them know that this is what they want.
This is exactly what they want. And because I think here it's a misinterpretation, because I think that Denji does at this point probably kind of like Asa, because he's asking out for another date.
Yeah.
But then Asa thinks because she can't turn him into a sword, then he must not actually like her.
Yes.
Yeah, even though the actual reason is because he is Chainsaw Man, and she doesn't know that yet. Yeah. So she's like, oh well, I guess she gets kind of upset at it and is looking kind of angry while trying to sleep.
Yeah, she had a really nice face there.
Yeah.
Do you have that one? Yeah, that one! Yeah!
That one. She gets so many good facial expressions. One thing I was thinking is, it's very common in shonen manga for main characters to be fairly happy-go-lucky and only get really angry when there's something that's like very extreme, like a villain doing something really evil. And I kind of appreciate the pettiness of Chainsaw Man characters.
Chainsaw Man is the Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Shonen Jump.
It is, except I think the characters are more likable in this. They're not quite as irredeemable. But it's the pettiness that I'm like, I appreciate seeing that. It's funny. It makes it more believable because, everyone's got things that just piss them off, even if it's not like something super serious. So I like it. And after that, the next day, Denji reveals his date plan, which indeed is to go watch Morbius with her. Because that's all he knows. And she's like, no.
How many mummy movies are there even?
A ton.
Really? I mean...
Yeah, they've been making... You're probably thinking of Brendan Fraser mummy movies, and I think in 1998 there's probably like
That
one.
didn't exist yet.
Or
No,
yeah.
that doesn't. Wait, 1998.
I think they started in the 90s. I'm pretty sure they started in the 90s. But before that, there's like, you know, in general, back to the black and white days, there were mummy movies. Let's see. When was Brendan Fraser's? Oh wait, you're right. Brendan Fraser's The Mummy wasn't until 1999. Didn't exist at this point. Yeah, so they're gonna watch the old black and white ones.
Sad.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That could be fun too.
I love Brendan Fraser's Mummy.
Bring him back. Could you imagine?
Second one was also good. I didn't watch the third one. Could you imagine
if they actually brought him back for a new one? Just as long as they don't Jake Skywalker him.
They would do that, wouldn't they?
They probably.
On the other hand, the only people who would take Brendan Fraser right now would be the people who really, really like him, because he's been through so much, and they would want the people who would bring Brendan Fraser back would be the people who really want him to do well, and they wouldn't put him in a position.
They wouldn't put him in a shitty role. Yeah, exactly. So it could be good. So Asa, like, she says, "Why don't we go back to your place instead?"
That's kind of like an. That's kind of like.
I was like, Asa, are you really that autistic to not realize what you're saying?
She wants to watch movies that you rent.
Yeah.
Movies that you don't own. There's a modern equivalent for that. And when you do that at somebody else's place,
like at Netflix, you don't own it.
If you invite yourself to somebody else's place to watch the movies that you don't own because you rent them from a service,
and to chill out,
she's very desperate to lose her femcel status.
I took it as just she doesn't understand what she's saying.
Just like the femcels do.
Yeah. But Denji at first is like, he's kind of like, no, which seems like it might be out of character, because he, you know, every other time he's thirsty.
Mainly because problems at home.
Yeah, but this time he says, you can come over, but you have to follow the house rules, because if you don't,
why
you might die. Yeah. It's got to be something that Narita does.
She's giving him a nice eyebrow, like, huh?
She's like, what are you talking about? And
how?
Yeah. And Stalker Man over here is like, what did he say? He said die? I've seen an edit of this panel that I really liked, which was which was the club president behind the fence, and then behind him is Yoshida, and behind him is Famine. Because I'm like, it seems like there's Asa and Denji, and then there's like a whole crew of people who are stalking them.
The main event of the whole world is whether this girl and this boy will go out.
Yeah. It's important.
Everybody's watching it with bated breath.
In this world with devils and magic all over the place.
Very funny. I like where this series is going.
Me too.
This was a very nice arc.
I liked it, yeah. We've said multiple times about how it's like part 2 is repeating so many concepts from part 1, but then putting such a different spin on it. Yeah. Like, I've seen people before talk about how Chainsaw Man pacing is way too fast. And I wonder if Fujimoto heard that, because part 2 then does have a lot more slower bits, I'd say.
A lot of parts where people are just copy-pasted with slightly different expressions.
Exactly, even though he's got more time.
Time is passing. He's allowed to do that now. He can do all of these things, and I'm glad for it. I really enjoy it. Even people who hated part 1 are really enjoying part 2 now.
People hated part 1?
Yeah, a lot of people.
Everyone liked
See,
part 1.
No. There's a lot of people who never read manga because they're
Mhm.
idiots. So when people were like, no, Chainsaw Man is so cool, it's getting an anime, it's going to be so hype, and of
Mhm.
course they put a lot of effort into Chainsaw Man, because when the first chapter of Chainsaw Man came out, the producer of that studio was like,
You mean
I gotta get
episode?
my hand. No, chapter. He was
Mm.
reading it and he was like, I need to get my hands on this as
Yeah.
quickly as possible. He called Mr. Double Issue from the Jump editorial department.
Uh-huh.
Was like, give me that Fujimoto on the line. I want to talk it. I want his series so much.
Wow. So it started all
And
the way back then.
yeah, he immediately went for it because he knew what kind of goal he had on his hands, and
Mhm.
you can tell that everybody really wanted a piece of it, because they made a new ending song for
Yeah, every episode, which is
that almost
amazing.
never happens.
Yeah, I've never seen that in a series before. It's great.
I think I've seen that in something, but I can't think of it right now. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think it's the
that was
first
really
time.
neat. But
If you press me
why
on
would
it, I
why
would
would that
eventually find it.
Like, how does that connect to people hating part one? Is it from people who heard
No,
about it
right,
because of the anime and started reading?
It's because it's because the anime,
Mm-hmm.
and because of the fandom, and then people start watching the anime and they're like, I don't get why this is so great. This is pretty boring. This is just standard action and some teenage drama. And then they are like,
I have seen some
maybe...
people weirdly comparing Chainsaw Man to Black Clover. Just like,
yeah, that's stupid.
Ow.
But then they go like, well, maybe the good part starts in the manga after this. And then they start reading the manga. And then they're extra disappointed because they expected...
How?
Yeah, I don't know exactly how, but they expected something completely different. And they don't get into the mindset of somebody who's constantly reading manga. So they would, because only people who are really into manga knew about Chainsaw Man before the anime came out.
Right.
And only people who read a lot of manga would be pissed off at the regular shonen schlock of like Black Clover, which is barely original enough and barely competent enough to like be successful.
Well, I think we talked before when we were reviewing Doron Doron about how it is like just taking all of the shonen manga tropes and throwing them in a blender, but then like kind of doing them badly.
Black Clover is
taking all of those and then but doing it competently.
Yes.
So that's why it's lasting longer. Yeah.
Competent enough. And then there's stuff like Undead Unluck and Mashal and Yozakura Family, who are original, but they're also kind of bad. So they are getting an anime, but it's not being pushed as hard as, for example, Chainsaw Man.
Yeah. So are people's expectations for Chainsaw Man that it's going to be more standard? Was that it? And they don't like it because it's too weird, or what? Why?
No,
why aren't they liking it?
It's as if everybody's hyping it up to be Avengers, like the first Avengers.
Yeah.
And the reason why we like it is because we've watched so many movies that we're like, oh, what's it called? Bly Manor. That's the reason. We're the people who get excited for something like Bly Manor or The Lighthouse. And normal people look at it as like, this is boring. Why are the people just talking? Why is this movie in black and white? And we're ascended to a level where
I could kind of get that argument for the Chainsaw Man anime from some people. I actually have seen some people complaining that the anime is too slow, and I know that the studio behind it has said that it's on purpose to make it more like cinema, because Fujimoto is like, make it like movies. Yeah.
But the manga is already pretty cinematic.
Yeah, and also like I feel like when you're reading it, at least when I'm reading it, it doesn't feel like something slow paced. It feels like something incredibly fast paced where things are constantly happening. So like I don't get how people could be like, this is boring. Is it just
Chainsaw
because
Man
there's too many
has-
words? Is that it?
No, Chainsaw Man has the same je ne sais quoi as Quentin Tarantino movies have,
Mm-hmm.
because they celebrate extreme violence in a
Mhm.
way that's extremely like, this is something that the creator enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
He wants the over the top action and
Not as many
violence,
feet in Chainsaw Man
but it
compared to Quentin Tarantino films.
well, not everybody has to be on their feet to want to be Quentin Tarantino. But the way dialogues and scenes are directed is very the same kind of spirit
Yeah,
as
I
Quentin
get how you
Tarantino
mean by
has.
that. Right. Yeah.
Somebody who has watched a lot of movies will get to that point where they do that stuff.
Mm-hmm. The writing style is well, yeah, we've talked a little bit about it before, about creators being film brained versus anime brained.
Araki is
And
the same.
maybe all of those anime fans coming over to the manga and being disappointed is because they are still in an anime brain mode when they need to
Yeah.
change their expectations for certain manga that were made by film brain creators.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, that was a good arc. I really liked the Aquarium arc of Chainsaw Man Part 2. You have anything else to say?
No, I'm looking
Alright.
forward to the next chapters
too.
that you can read on Jump Plus.
Yeah. Are Asa and Denji going to kiss? What are Nayuta's rules? That you could
They're
die.
not going to kiss. What are you saying? This is not going to happen.
That's gonna be the end of Part 2. They finally kiss. The whole thing will be will they, won't they?
Mm,
And then at the end they will.
mm.
Oh, I just
I'm not so
remembered
sure,
I just remembered another date that Denji had other than the swimming pool and the
Hmm?
theater.
What else?
He also went to have burgers and dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a date.
That was a date. Maybe he should have used that idea on Asa. See how she likes it.
Hmm. I would
Anyway,
appreciate that because that means they would eat burgers.
until next time.
Our burger is only just beginning.